Rumors are that allegedly there was some behind the scenes drama between Kandi and Kenya this weekend at BravoCon. What happened? Well, I have some new information that may answer that question and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk? And welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. If you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. Alright, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly there was some behind the scenes drama between Kandi and Kenya over the weekend at BravoCon. What happened? Well, I have some new information that may answer that question and more, and here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly there was some brief tension between Kandi and Kenya backstage at BravoCon. Sources say for the rest of the event, tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Kandi was allegedly visibly frustrated with Kenya, and for her part, Kenya was rumored to be intentionally avoiding Kandi and ignoring her apparent frustration. Allegedly, other housewives outside the cast could also feel the tension. Many people were confused at what could have happened so quickly between the two, after being so cordial and friendly with each other earlier in the day. The drama in the housewife universe moves quickly, said another source. Everyone was all over the place, ready to read each other and throw shade. So, who knows what could have happened? So, the question is, what did Kenya allegedly do to upset Kandi? Well, industry insiders believe that allegedly the drama may have started when Kenya stated that if she could bring back any former housewife, who would it be? And she answered Nene. So, why could this statement have potentially upset Kandi? Sources think Kenya's remark may have come off as unappreciative for the hard work the ladies went into making season 14 a great season. Kandi believes, according to sources close to production, that the current cast should focus on moving the franchise forward and not backwards. Another source said, of all the ladies, Kandi has been working the hardest to push the franchise into the future, with creative promos, organic storylines, and fun on-camera moments. So, Kenya's comment, while harmless on the surface, could have made all of Kandi's hard work look counterproductive. However, allegedly, Kandi wasn't the only current housewife who took issue with Kenya's statement. Sources think that Sanya and of course Marlo may have been upset with Kenya as well. While they didn't outwardly show it, one source said they wouldn't be surprised if Sanya took the statement as a personal dig that she's a boring adversary to Kenya. Marlo, on the other hand, is rumored to wanting to be the new Nene. So, if Nene did come back, that would potentially see Marlo demoted back to friend of the show. So, kinfolk, when I got news of this rumor that there was some alleged tension between Kenya and Kandi behind the scenes at BravoCon, I immediately knew what it could have been. And the reason why I knew what it could have been because of how the question that was asked to Kenya, how loaded of a question it was, with Kandi sitting right next to her and with Phaedra backstage. So when this question was asked and Kenya answered in the way she answered, I was thinking to myself, in my head, that there could be some definite drama between the two backstage after that current statement. But kinfolk, here's why I'm not surprised by Kenya's answer to that question, and here's why. Kenya has stated on several different occasions that she feels like Nene is good for the show. She made that statement when Nene was on the show, the first time Nene took a break from the show, and when Nene returned to the show. So that statement really wasn't surprising or shocking, I don't think, to anyone who has been a part of the Housewife franchise universe for as long as Kenya and Nene have both been on the show. Now, kinfolk, I will say this. this is something that did take me by surprise, that my sources were telling me. It seems as if that there is a even divide amongst the ladies, with one side thinking that if the network ever suggested, or if production ever suggested, that they wanted to spice up the show and storylines by bringing back former castmates, then I've been told that one side of the group thinks that would be a great idea, while the other side of the group is not too fond of that idea. Now, I think we can pretty much see who's on whose side, just by the way they were sitting at bravocon, and also by the things that we've seen them say on social media and in the public in general. So if you are to believe that rumor that the cast is evenly split on bringing back older castmates or former castmates, I think it pretty much would be Sheree, Kenya, and Drew, who are all for bringing back former castmates, and pretty much Kandi, Marlo, and Sanya, who are probably thinking, let's leave them where they are and let's just focus on the current cast and moving us forward. Now that's the even divide split if you are to believe that rumor, and of course it's all speculation. But kinfolk, there's another part of this rumor that I do find very interesting, and it's this. When it comes to Kandi's alleged mind of thinking about moving the franchise forward, I do agree. I also agree that it is very important that if the franchise, as it is currently standing now, if it wants to create a new model of itself, if it wants to create a new lane for its future success, then that role is strictly moving forward and looking forward, and not necessarily bringing back old castmates back to the show. Because we have seen that when you bring old castmates back to the show, two things could happen. Either one, they drum up old dark drama, or two, they come back and it's not that much fanfare. And I think what a lot of fans are missing the point is that when you bring back former housewives, you really do have to bring back certain housewives and get rid of other housewives in order to make that magic work. And what I mean by that is, in the past, when we saw Kenya, who was off of the franchise for that season, and we saw them bring Nene back, a lot of fans were saying that season was very dull. It missed a lot of drama. And then the next season, when they brought Kenya back, then the drama picked up. So I would say, yes, you can bring back former housewives who you know going to deliver, who you know going to be at odds with one another. But also, if you remember, when they brought Kenya back that next season and they had Nene on the show, the drama took a very dark turn again after season 9. So that is one part of the spectrum that I think is a kind of a double-edged sword for bringing back older housewives. Now, if you want to move forward into the future, and I think the best way to do that is to really develop the current cast of housewives, because I do believe Drew and Sanya have a lot of great storylines in them, and I can see them making their mark and leaving their mark on the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise in a big way. Now, kinfolk, the last part of this rumor that I find very interesting is this. My sources really do believe that by any stretch of the imagination, if Nene was to come back, then Marlo would be automatically demoted back to friend of the show. Now, I haven't talked to my sources, and they all have been saying that allegedly Marlo sees herself as the new Nene and wanting to be the new Nene, the person who's in that villain role, the person who's taking all the heat, because she allegedly knows that the villain of the show always has a place in the franchise. But to Marlo's only issue is that she's not a very good villain, as we saw in this past season. She's not one of those type of villain who stands in her shade, or stands in her drama, or stands in her comments. She always seems to make a comment and then retreat and apologize. And those are not good characteristics of a good villain. So I can kind of see, if you are to believe these rumors, that allegedly Marlo is fearful that if Nene came back, she would be demoted to friend of the show. I can see that happening, but I will say Marlo has carried her own in a certain way. So if Nene ever did come back, I think they probably would keep her as a peach holder and may demote someone else, who I'm not sure. But if you are to believe the rumors that two other housewives could have had other issues with Kenya stating that Nene should come back, I definitely would put my money on Marlo, and of course Sanya as well. And for Sanya, for different reasons, simply because I feel like as Sanya, who was kind of designated to be one of Kenya's adversaries last season, someone who she's supposed to be sparring with back and forth, Sanya didn't do a really good job. And just like Marlo, she was kind of afraid to stand in her shadiness and stand in her reads and stand in her comments the way we have grown accustomed to seeing other show villains across other Housewives franchises do. But, it was her first season, and she can probably develop her villainous type role for this upcoming season. But, as always, we will just have to wait and see. Alright, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I see you guys over on the next one. Peace.